friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video, I mean to look like this, and you'll find out why here in just a second. I'm using a newly released palette that came into my collection before my no-buy started. This is the Midnight Haze palette from BlairDaleMUA Cosmetics. Look at the outer packaging. Now this is a beautiful 9-pan palette with shades that just sing to my makeup loving soul. And I did get the Hunter and the Prey palette from BlairDaleMUA Cosmetics and was just over the moon with how amazing it was. And I thought, well, I gotta get this too. I am on a 1-year no-buy. This was released in December, I wanna say. And it got to me, I wanna say it got here after the first of the year, but I could be wrong about that. With all the holiday hullabaloo, I don't remember exactly when it arrived, but it's been waiting for me to use it for a while now. And I just think it's gorgeous. I think it is so gorgeous. I have swatched a couple of the shimmers. I swatched this one here called Crystal Raindrops, and it's this beautiful, like purple, blue, shifty. I think it would work really well as a topper, but I'm gonna use it just by itself. I'm not gonna use it as a topper. And then I swatched, actually, I think I swatched all the shimmers. This is really pretty, this kind of rosy, iridescent, magenta loveliness. And then we have Starry Nights, which is a silver shimmer. And then we have this one here called Street Lights, which is kind of a blue silver. And then we have Love Potion, this beautiful purple, magenta purple matte. Then we have After Fall, this really lovely blue, an electric blue. Midnight Haze, which is a lavender. We have Hazy Night, which is like a brown lavender, really cool. And then we have this one here called Blackout, which is a dark blue matte with sequin, like the sequin matte, the shimmery stuff in the matte. So I really want to go all in and do a really fun cut crease today. That's why this is on my lid or face, whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. What I think I will do is put Love Potion and Midnight Haze up here. And then in the outer V area, I'm going to put After Fall. And for the shimmers, this is what I'm struggling with. I think I'm going to use Street Lights and Crystal Raindrops together. That's going to look beautiful, I think. And then I'm going to put Blackout on my lower lash lines and maybe even as my upper lid liner. We'll see about that. I'm not sure. But I'm thrilled to be supporting this brand because Blair is just amazing, amazing, and has always been very supportive of me. Little old lady over here. Blair's got, you know, wheeling and dealing going on. And the fact that Blair will come and support me just means the world to me. So yeah, I'm really excited to dive into this palette. It's been sitting here just, you know, screaming at me to use it. So of course I do have my eyebrows done in the NYX Control Freak Clear Brow Gel. And then I did put some Juvia's Place Prep Prime eyeshadow primer up here, but of course it transfers onto my lid and I don't care. So let's get into this look. So getting into the look now, going into Love Potion here. I did wash all of my brushes. I'm so proud of myself. And actually, I wasn't sure if I was going to film this morning because I hardly slept last night. I think I maybe got 3.5 hours of sleep, if that. Something horrible. And then I woke up with a pretty decent headache. And so I took some ibuprofen and went and laid back down again. And my headache went away pretty quickly. And I thought, you know, I can try to go back to sleep. And then I might wake up really not happy because that's commonly what'll happen. So I thought I'm just going to get up and, you know, start my day and drink some coffee and just kind of take my time. But, I don't know, I felt well enough to sit down to film, so here I am. I just, you know, like if I don't feel good, I'm not going to film. I can't do that to myself. I just can't. I have to take care of myself. It's really important to me that I do that. So yeah. Okay, so let's talk about, this is a gorgeous shade, first of all, before I get into anything else. This is really nice. It's very pigmented and it's applying beautifully, as I knew that it would, of course. So I wanted to talk to you guys about future here on my channel, what I'm going to be doing in the next little while here. Okay, so I do have a true crime video coming up on Sunday, and it's the case of Gertrude Baniszewski, which is one of the most horrific cases I have ever covered. I mean, they all are. They're all horrific, right? All of them. I will say, though, that this is pretty damn awful. And, you know, like, I read a book and all that, of course, and there's tons of detail in the book. And I touched on the majority of it, but there are a few things that I, well, no, I touched on the, like, you know, main, but there's just so much, and it can get really daunting to explain and discuss all of the details. I mean, I do feel like I did a decent job of giving you guys the facts of the case, of course, but some of it was just so hard to just talk about. It's just awful. Anyway, moving on, because I know some of you would never watch true crime, and you're probably thinking, I don't want to hear any more about it. So that, I said, is coming up on Sunday. Okay, then I'm going to do a video that DW, Dub's Beauty Diary, did not long ago on her channel, called, what was it? Something like creators, things that creators do that give her the ick, I think is what she titled it as, which I thought was great. I love the shade, but now I'm gonna lighten up the edge of that with this shade here called Midnight Haze, grabbing a brush. And I thought, oh, that's such a great idea to do something like that. You know, she just was talking about things that creators do that she's not a big fan of, and that just, you know, she doesn't like to listen to or watch. And so I'm going to do the same thing, do a video like that, but mine is going to be titled Creators Behaving Badly. And I'm just going to talk about 10 things that I think are not cool that creators do here on this platform. I've already touched on quite a bit of it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with touching on it again, because I think, honestly, the more people hear it, maybe the less likely they'll be to support it. I don't know. So that's what I'm going to do too. And then I have a collab coming up next week with Gem, Just Gem. And I'm not going to tell you what we're doing, but it's going to be really freaking fun. And then Steph and I are going to be doing a collab with the ColourPop Twilight palette, because we both have it in common. And she and I really would like to start doing, we've talked about this before, monthly collabs together, Steph and I, because we're sisters and best friends, you know. And we have done several. And we've talked about doing monthly collabs, and then, you know, life just gets in the way. I'm busy, she's busy. You know, Steph does suffer from a chronic pain disorder, and she can't always film when she wants to film. You know, that's not always available to her because she's in pain, and it can be really difficult for her to sit in a chair and do her makeup for any length of time. So, you know, we have to be mindful of that too. So it's just, you know, but we're really excited to, you know, get this stuff planned out, and we have a lot of palettes in common. And what we've also talked about doing is like combining two palettes together that we both have that may not necessarily go together, and then creating looks like that too. So yeah, we got a lot of fun ideas that we're kicking around. And then what else? Oh, there's also a couple of Instagram collabs I want to do too, with a couple of my friends off Instagram. So that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to that. This is working so well. I love this. I love how everything's blending together. I feel like it's been really easy to do this. I do need to fix right there a little bit with the darker purple, because I kind of put too much of the light lavender shade down, but I am really happy with how this is blending. I think it's beautiful. Okay, so I think I'm done getting that all blended together. It's probably not perfect. Like right here looks a little funky to me. But I mean, it's as good as I'm gonna get it, right? So now what I'm gonna do is take my Juvia's Place Prep Prime eyeshadow primer and cut this crease. I'm gonna do that off camera just to save a little bit of time. Okay, so the crease is cut. Yes, now I'm gonna go into the palette again, and I'm gonna start laying down shimmers and another matte. Okay, I think I will, no, I was gonna go inner to outer. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go outer to inner. Okay, starting off by putting After Fall right here, and then I'm gonna put Street Lights in the center and put Crystal Raindrops towards the front of my lid. I do need to find a brush though. So going into After Fall, and I'm just using one of my flat little AliExpress brushes here. Now the goal is to kind of pack this on, and also to keep the line very crisp. And I know I've done this a lot on my channel as of late, so I'm not trying to be boring, but I really like doing this technique. It's really fun, and I'm just really enjoying like using different color combinations to do it. It's just really fun. I love it. And you know, you can do a shimmer out here, sure. And you can do, like I could do all mattes across the lid if I wanted to as well. But I like having the matte out here and then the shimmers across the lid. I just think that looks really cool. And this is a very nice shade. It's very nice. It's applying beautifully and it's nicely pigmented and I'm very happy with it. So that's awesome. I'm kind of almost feeling like I should have gone into the sequin matte shade out here, but I think that's going to look really cool on my lower lash line. So I'm just going to, I mean, not that you can't, I can put both. Should I? Nah. I'm just going to continue to go like this. And then if it's not working or if I don't like it or whatever, I can add the darker shade. Now what can be tricky right here is that you want to make sure that you're right up against that cut crease line and not let the primer thing, you know, demarcation peek out. And so I kind of have to like go back in almost, like I'll show you here, like with the brush, well, not that big. This one, this is one of my old Moda brushes. Take a brush like this and go into the shadow and just stamp it right next to that line and next to the purple matte. And then that does a really good job of taking that line from the primer, like, cause you know what I'm saying? Like it's just kind of hard to get all the way up to where that purple edge meets with this type of brush. So if you use one of those brushes, it just does a lot better. This is gorgeous. I love this blue. God, this is pretty. I love it. This is so fun. And always the test for me is to get this thing even. I don't know why I do this to myself, but I do. Okay, so well, hold on. I think I want to put a little bit more of the Afterfall right here, right? Yeah. Okay, I love it. So I'm just going to clean this brush off because it's working like a charm. So, you know, if it's not broke, let's not fix it, right? And I'm going to go into Straight Lights, this kind of bluey silver shade. Gorgeous. And I will spray this just a skosh just to keep it contained because I don't want it necessarily to like blow up on the purple part up there. It probably will because my eyelids are hooded. Okay. Oh, and there is kind of a creasy line from the primer, but I'll cover that up with the shimmer. This is so pretty. God, that's nice. Love it. It's beautiful. And it is going to look funky right here for a minute because, you know, it just is. And I kind of have to like go in with my finger and smush that around and then it'll look less stripy and more cohesive. And you can just kind of take the brush and kind of pat it too. That helps. But I find that using my finger is the best way to do that. Yeah. I have been crocheting like crazy again, of course. Well, not again, I have been for a while. And I'm making my son a blanket for his birthday. His birthday's March 4th. I just finished a scarf for his girlfriend because her birthday is in February. And we're gonna go see him and his girlfriend in a little while. So I'm gonna take that stuff to her scarf to her. I will not have my son's blanket done, I don't think, in time for that. I love that. It's gorgeous. I'm just gonna clean this brush off, continue to use this. And I'm gonna go into Crystal Raindrops, put that towards the front. Ooh, this is so gorgeous, you guys. You're gonna lose it when you see how beautiful this shade is. It's amazing. This though is one of those, I gotta be really careful with it. It's like, it's just not really picking up on the brush that great. Yes, it is. What am I talking about? Yes, it is. It's one of those real kind of smushy shades and a little like, you get kind of chunks of it and then smush it. And with the other shade, or the other palette of Blair's, the shade Prey, I think it was, I panned it because I went way too ham into that. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking beautiful. It's that beautiful purple and blue iridescent loveliness. OMG. I love this. I'm trying to get a chunk of it on, there we go, on the brush so I can, oh my gosh, so beautiful. Anyway, so my son's blanket, my son loves the Cleveland Browns football team, which don't ask me why, because I think they're awful. But I don't know. He's always been for the underdog, you know. And I think they've had good seasons here and there. But they've also had not the greatest of players on the team either in terms of their behavior off the field. Like Johnny Manziel when he played. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. What an ass. Ugh. And my son did not like the team when Johnny played, but he was just such a pompous ass, just a jerk. They had a Netflix documentary about him, and I watched part of it, and I was so disgusted with him that I couldn't finish watching it. I'm like, this kid is such a jerk. I mean, you know, I understand they're young men, okay? And I think that, like, honestly, athletes are given way too much importance in our society, way too much. I'm gonna go, look at that. Oh, I'm gonna go use my finger. But still, you know, get a grip. Anyway, sorry I get off on a tangent. So I'm making what's called, it's actually going to go in with this brush too, because I kind of didn't make that very crisp right there. So I'm going to take this brush and fix it. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, the blanket. I'm making, the style is called a farmhouse blanket. And I believe the stitch is a moss stitch or a partial moss or something like that, if you guys are familiar with crochet. And it's striped. So what I'm going to do, there's 2 big stripes, then 2 little stripes, 2 big stripes, then 2 little stripes, and there's 4 colors. So it's going to be dark brown, cream, light brown, and orange, because the browns are brown and orange. Not the color combo I would choose for my own blanket, but you know, it's not mine, it's his. And then I'm also going to make Winnie, my grandpuppy. I'm going to go into streetlights with my finger as well and just plop this here. I'm making Winnie a blanket too. And I got some fleece yarn that I think she's, or like chenille, not fleece, chenille. And I think she's going to love her blankie too, because she really likes to snuggle with blankies. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm going to go back into Crystal Raindrops and just put a little bit more of this here. God, this is so beautiful. This is my favorite shade out of the palette so far, is the Crystal Raindrops. Beautiful. Oh, I love this. I think this is so fun. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just take this brush. Let me clean my finger off a little bit. Take this brush, nothing additional on it, and I'm just going to kind of feather right here. And there's probably some of that Crystal Raindrop shade on here, and that's okay. I don't mind that at all. I think that might help kind of make this a little bit more cohesive. Or should I just go for it and go into the dark blue matte over the top of that? I don't know if I love the light blue matte next to the silver. I don't know. I wish you guys were here and you could tell me what you think I should do. This looks like an oil slick, you know, that like, woo, so cool. I'm just going to go back into, not that brush. Actually, I'm going to use this little teeny brush here, and I'm going to go back into the After Fall shade, the matte, and just sort of like feather it right here, just to kind of make that look a little nicer if I can. So now let's take off the sticker. It's my favorite part. Okay. Ooh, ooh, yeah. That looks badass. It looks very futuristic to me. So what I'm going to do, gosh, is go off camera, clean this up, try to replicate this on the other eye. I don't know. Wish me luck, and I will come back. So this is my finished look, of course, and I absolutely love how this look turned out. I knew I was going to, just the color story alone, but thrilled with the formulation. And something just popped into my head right now of what I'm going to do with this palette in the near future. So excited. I did do a couple tweaky things with the palette too that I'll show you here when I show it to you again and give you my first impressions of the palette. Let me show you everything I have on my face. The Maybelline New York Fit Me Matte and Poreless Primer, because yesterday when I used these 2 products on their own without the primer, I looked like a sweaty mess halfway through the day. So I thought, let's try some matte and poreless primer today. We'll see how that works. And then I did top it, of course, with the CoverGirl Clean Professional Loose Setting Powder in Translucent. For my bronzer, the LYS No Limits Bronzer in Motivate. Loving this. I am still using the Blame It on the Blursh palette from Made by Mitchell. I used this shade here called Night and Right, and then For the Lovers, both of those together. I just thought it would look nice. I used a shadow out of the eyeshadow palette for my upper lid liner and my lower lash lines. I did not put on a highlighter. On my lips, I used the BlairDaleMUA Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Luna. Love this. I was gonna top it with the multi-chrome gloss. And I thought, no, just leave it. It's gorgeous. And I'm telling you, these liquid lipsticks, these, I have several of these, stay on my lips all day long. They do look a little funky at the very end of my day. It's time to take it off, but really a great formulation. And then I couldn't find my Maybelline New York Sky High mascara. It's sitting right there in my eyeliner tub. I forgot I put it there. So I grabbed my Hamish brand mascara that I got in some PR from Temu. And I like it. It's really a nice mascara. Is that it? Yes, I think so. Okay, so now let's talk about the Midnight Haze palette from BlairDaleMUA Cosmetics. I did put Midnight Haze in my inner corners because I just really like how a light matte looks in my inner corners. I thought about putting Roxy, but I just really enjoy how that looks now. Jan Van taught me about that, and I just love it. So I've been doing that more often lately. I did put Blackout on my lower lash lines, buffed them out with Midnight Haze. This kind of became a workhorse in on my look for my look today because I used it in a few different spots. And then I also lined my upper lids with Blackout as well, and it worked great. Now I was noticing that the blue, this blue and this silver shade from my taste just weren't really meshing that well together. So what I did was I took a teeny bit of the Crystal Raindrop shade and patted it with a brush out here, like right next to the silver and that blue matte. And I really like how that looks because it just kind of ties the blue in a little bit better. It's not quite that harsh line between the silver and the blue matte, the silver shimmer and the blue matte, if that makes sense. I just really liked how that looks. Now I'm telling you, these shimmers are just gorgeous, super opaque, and just this one especially, that lovely iridescent shifty stuff. I do think this would be a really awesome topper, like over any of the darker mattes. Even the lighter matte would be fine too. I didn't use this matte, this shimmer, or that shimmer, and I of course want to use those in a future video. But what I think I might do, you guys, is use this as a companion palette with the Castle of Horror palette from Ladybug Glow in collaboration with Blair. Wouldn't that be so cool? I think that would make a perfect combo. I'm definitely going to be doing that. But I love this palette. I don't have one negative thing to say about it. The mattes are pigmented and blendable. The shimmers are just stunning. So I highly recommend picking up this palette. I will link Blair's website in my description box and Blair's Instagram in my description box. If you're not familiar with Blair, go make yourself familiar with Blair, because I believe that Blair is going to be kaboom, bam, boom, blowing up all over the makeup scene. And I know I'm on a 1-year no-buy. So if Blair releases anything in 2025, I might kick myself because I really am going to stick to my no-buy. Except for buying a couple of Steph's releases, of course. So Blair, do your old friend a favor over here. And if you do release anything else in 2025, can you just hold one aside for me until 2026 so I can get it? Just kidding. You can do whatever you want, obviously. Ugh, I keep getting my hair in my face. But I just love how this look turned out. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this look. And then I'm definitely going to be doing another look with this by itself, but also combining it with the Castle of Horror palette. Ingenious. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video, but in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself, be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.